What are you guys reading in March? Because my TBR is a little ambitious. Hi, I'm Naomi from the Mixed Up Desk. Welcome to my channel. Let's get into the March TBR. Okay, I have two book clubs. The first book club is Good Day to Read Indigenous, and this month we are reading Godly Heathens by H.E. Edgemon. This is a YA fantasy. This is about a trans Indigenous teen who is a god, but can't remember that they're a god. I think the blurbs on the back will convince you to read this book, so I'm going to read two of them. This is the kind of book that changes young lives. The kind readers will force into their friends' houses and shout, "Read this now." If only all villain stories in YA could be this good. That was from Rebecca Roanhorse. Vile, nasty, ill-behaved queerness. And I loved it. So this is the first in a duology, which I like better than a trilogy because if you didn't know, I'm a series hater. But I am super excited to read this. If you want to join Good Day to Read Indigenous, the book club takes place in my Discord and the link is below. I also host a Women in Horror book club, which is horror written by women authors. This also takes place in the same Discord. Let's get into what my last month's read is because I didn't finish it, LOL. And this month's read. I am really excited for both of these. So last month's read was Unshod, Cackling, and Naked by Tamika Thomas. This is a horror short story collection. A beauty pageant veteran appeases her mother by competing for one final crown, only to find herself trapped in a hand-sewn gown that cuts into her flesh. A journalist falls deeply in love with a mysterious woman but discovers his beloved can vanish and reappear hours later in the same spot, as if no time has passed at all. A cash-strapped college student agrees to work in a shop window as a mannequin, but quickly learns she's not free to break her pose. What happens when the family pet decides that it no longer wants owners? In the grim and often horrific 13 Tales collected here, beauty is violent and love and hate are the same feeling, laid bare by unbridled obsession. You may not know Tamika Thomas now, but I promise you, you will. I cannot wait for you to dive into this with me about a month late because that's just how I live my life. Look at my shelves. We've already been over this. This month's Women in Horror book club pick is Victorian Psycho by Virginia Fieto. Now, if this cover doesn't scare the bejesus out of you, I really don't know what will because this looks creepy as heck to me. This is the tale of a bloodthirsty governess who learns the true meaning of vengeance. Hello? Victorian Psycho plunges readers into the chilling mind of an iconic new literary psychopath. This book was written for me. I'm convinced of it. If it lets me down, I will be very, very upset. So if you're interested in reading along with the Women in Horror Book Club, that is also in Discord. And this month, my Discord is doing a read-along that is outside of the book clubs. And we are reading 5th Season by N.K. Jemisin because how have I not read this book yet? Well, I will tell you how we got here. I said this earlier in the video, but I am a true series hater. Wrap it up in one book. There are too many books on these shelves in disarray that I have to read. I can't commit to a series. And then we have to wait years and years for the whole series to finish. And by the time we get to book 2, I've forgotten what's in book 1 because nobody puts a previously on in the front of the book. Why don't you do that, publishers? Why? It's so easy. It's a page. But there are a few series that I do own that I do want to get through, and the Broken Earth trilogy is one of them. I actually own this gorgeous special edition box set. Truly, truly gorgeous. So I need to read them. Everyone says that N.K. Jemisin is one of the best fantasy authors writing right now, and you need to let me know if that's true, because I suspect that it probably is. If you want to join the read along for the 5th season, the Discord link is below. We will probably read one book a month until this series is over. And then I'm going to have the Discord reading Gideon the Ninth, because that is another series that I have major FOMO for not reading. The next book in my TBR, I don't want you to die of jealousy, but I do have an arc of Love is a War Song by Danica Nava. This is an Indigenous romance about a pop star and a cowboy. Do I need to say more? Last year, the first traditionally published Indigenous rom-com hit the shelves, and that was The Truth According to Ember by Danica Nava, and now her second book is out. I need more Indigenous romance. I need it now. If you are an Indigenous author who is writing romance, I might want to publish it. I want to read it. I am taking submissions. You do not need an agent. You can submit to me directly. The link for that is also below. And if you are a reader who wants to see more Indigenous romance on the shelves, please do subscribe to my Bindery. You can subscribe for free. That link is also below. Okay, next up is For Aunties in a Wedding. This is the second book in the Aunties series by Jessie Q. Sutanto, who is quickly becoming one of my favorite authors because she really knows how to write an unhinged story. Everything about everything I've read from her has been completely bonkers, and I love it. Like, I want to hang out with her because I need to know how does she come up with this? What is going on in her brain? Does she know people like this in real life? I cannot imagine what kind of mess these ladies get into in book 2, because book 1, Dial A for Aunties, was non-stop Bonkersville. Next on the list is actually my current read, carrying over from last month. That's Mongrels by Stephen Graham Jones. This is a coming-of-age werewolf story. I haven't quite read anything like it. I am really enjoying it. I am listening to the audiobook. I don't think I've actually read any werewolf stories before. I have Bride by Ali Hazelwood on my shelf. I don't think I've read any werewolf horror, so drop those recommendations below. Next up is Fire Exit by Morgan Talty. So this is an Indigenous book with a white main male character, and he has a son with an Indigenous woman. And the Indigenous woman decided that she was going to pretend that somebody else was the father so that her son would be considered Indigenous enough. I am craving a literary fiction right now, and I think that this one is definitely going to hit the spot. It is Women in Horror Month, and so I am reading The Haunting of Velkwood by Gwendolyn Keast. This is nominated for a Bram Stoker Award, and I am currently making my way through all of the nominees for Best Novel and Best First Novel. There are 10. I've read 5 of them. This is a suburban ghost story about a small town that trapped 3 young women who must confront the past if they're going to have a future. What do we think of this cover? I like it. The comments are saying that this book reinvents the haunted house narrative. We will see. We will. Let me know if you're interested in seeing some longer reviews here. I am a little confused about long reviews. Like, do you talk about every single thing that goes on in this book? So it's a natural that spoilers are going to happen because we're just dissecting everything in the book. Somebody give me some pointers in how that works here. Next, I'm reading Lore of the Wilds by Annalie Sabrana. And I'm reading this because I'm going to see the author at the end of the month. And it's been on my TBR forever. And I want to get it signed, and I want to get it signed after I read it. And look at the little mushrooms on the cover. I am obsessed with mushrooms. I hope they factor into the story somehow. They better. Okay, a stunning romantasy debut about an enchanted library, 2 handsome fae, and 1 human who brings them all together. I hate fae. Help. You might be like, Naomi, why do you hate fae? And well, I hate them because they are short. I'm sorry. I'm tall. I don't know. I think that this book might change my prejudice against the fae. Okay, and the last book on my TBR is Death of the Author by Needy Okorafor. This is an absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous book. Like, no kidding, it's even more gorgeous when you open it up. This is a fantasy sci-fi that is a book within a book, and I love that. Somebody said it's 3 novels in one, or maybe 4, and I have to see how that kind of all works together, about fame and family, culture and change, the power of story, the writer's life, and robots. How do you fit so much into one book? We're going to find out. How am I going to make it through this entire TBR? Will I do it? What do you think? I don't know, but I hope so. Tell me what is on your TBR. Tell me what book you are most excited to read this month.